Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am reviewing some books which you can read to your children on the occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi this year. If you're visiting my channel for the first time, then hi, I'm Nidhi, a parent to a 7-year-old and an educator by profession. On this channel, I review and recommend books for children. I do a lot of read aloud storytelling sessions. Sometimes I share DIY activities for children which you can do easily at home, and even some really nutritious traditional Indian recipes for children. So please take a moment and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell button to get notifications for all the new future uploads. If you are a continuous visitor to my channel, then I really appreciate all your support and will look forward to your continuous love in spreading the joy of reading. Now let's get started with today's video, where I am reviewing the books for the occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi this year. So these are the 3 books which we are reading on the occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi this year. First one is Amma, Tell Me About Ganesha by Bhakti Mathur. Second is Shiva Loves to Dance by Anita Raina. And the third one is this by Katha publication, Hathi Ka Vazan Kaise Kare. You must be wondering why I chose the book about Shiva and an elephant along with Ganesh on the occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi. The reason being that we are living in Tokyo and it is very difficult to source English books and primarily books about Indian mythology here. Earlier I used to get couriers from India, wherein I would get books for my daughter as per our requirement. However, in the current situation where couriers are not really working very smooth, it's difficult for me to source any new titles. These are the books which I had on my shelf. And I thought it would be great to talk about Shiva, because Shiva was father to Lord Ganesha, and since Lord Ganesha is an elephant god, I thought it would be interesting to bring in a book about elephant. And this book is a wonderful book. It not only speaks about an elephant, it also highlights problem-solving skills. So I thought I would be able to offer a variety wherein I talk about Lord Ganesha in this book. Here I discuss more about Lord Shiva with my daughter. And in this book I talk about elephant and how heavy an elephant is. And when a king says that I want to weigh my elephant, I want to know the weight of my elephant, what really happens and how people think and solve this problem, wherein the king even announces that the person who would weigh my elephant right would be awarded. So how a young little girl comes into the picture and she says that yes, she can weigh an elephant, and she turns out to be very successful by using the Archimedes Principle, and she weighs this elephant. So I thought these 3 books would offer a great variety for me to discuss and talk with my daughter. It would give her a different perspective to Indian mythology, and we can also explore some mathematical principles over here. So let me get started and I will take you through each book individually. So let me start with the first one, Amma, Tell Me About Ganesha. As I have reviewed this series in my earlier videos too, I will give you a brief of this series once more in case you have not watched my earlier videos wherein I have spoken about this series. This entire book series is called as Amma, Tell Me series, and it is written by Bhakti Mathur, illustrated by Molshri Somani. This series is very charming and informative for children. It really introduces major Hindu gods and festivals to young children in a perfect manner, and it suits really well to the families who want to talk about Hinduism to their children, who want to introduce Hindu mythology to their children. It's also a great book for educators who want to talk about Hindu culture, religion and gods to their students at school. It is written in a very rhythmic and vivid fashion. The illustrations are very captivating. The series bring Hindu mythology, for young readers in a very fun and non-preachy manner. And the series has around 10 books. You have an option. You can buy each book individually. You can buy a set of books, or you can buy the entire set of 10 books all together. Today I am reviewing this book about Ganesha, because today in this video I'm sharing about books we are reading, that's me and my daughter reading this year on the occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi. I really like the fact that Bhakti Mathur starts all her books with some or the other shloka about that particular festival or that god. Like for example, here she has given a mention of Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurumu Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada, and there is an English explanation to this Sanskrit shloka. So this is really interesting, which I like in her book. Since this book is about Ganesha, the book starts with wonderful illustration, captivating illustration, wherein Ganpati Bappa's Visarjan is taking place and people are chanting that Ganpati Bappa Mohoreya Agle Barastu Jaldiya. So they, people are singing songs and telling Ganpati Bappa, please come back. And after the day's festivities ended, as I shared in this book, so there are two children in this series, Klaka and Kiki, who always question their Amma, and Amma tells them that I will definitely share or respond to your questions during your bedtime, and she weaves the entire answer or the response to their question into a wonderful rhyming story, and then she narrates to them. So here in this book, Klaka and Kiki ask Amma about that how Ganesha got his elephant head. So Amma narrates the entire story in a very rhythmic fashion, sharing the information that how Shiva and Parvati lived on mighty Himalayas, and whenever Shiva used to go to meditate, how lonely Ma Parvati would feel, and one fine day she decided that she's going to make a playmate for her own self so that she doesn't feel lonely, and that's how Ganesha was born, and Shiva was totally unaware about it. So when he came back from his meditation, that particular day Lord Ganesha was guarding the door of the house as per the instructions given by Ma Parvati, and Ma Parvati had told him that please do not let anybody in, and he stopped Lord Shiva at the entrance, for which Lord Shiva got really very angry. But he felt that I shouldn't be fighting a young child, so he sent his Ganas first to fight with Lord Ganesha. Then he even sent Lord Brahma, but nobody had luck, and Lord Ganesha defeated all of them. That's when Lord Shiva got really violent, and he picked his trident up and he cut off Lord Ganesha's head. While this happened, then Ma Parvati arrived at this horrific scene. She was really shaken to see her son lying on the floor dead. She wailed till her voice became hoarse. Forehead sprang into goddess Kali, and she vowed to avenge the child. She rampaged the entire earth, destroying everything. And in desperation, Shiva pleaded that, "Oh Parvati, stop, I beg of you." That's when she said that, you bring my child back to life. Otherwise, I will not going to stop this. So that's when Shiva set off to find the missing head, and he comes across this elephant. The elephant offers his head, as in this story they have said, the elephant said that I have grown old. It will be my pleasure if I can come some use to you. And Shiva very gracefully accepts his head, and then Shiva takes the elephant's head back and puts it on the head of Ganesha, and that's when Lord Ganesha comes back to life again. Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati, they both wish and bless Lord Ganesha, and Lord Shiva also proclaims that that Ganesha is now going to be the leader of his Gana, and Ma Parvati tells him that he'll be as wise as he's brave, and all the people will always pray to him, whether doing their old task or new task. So everybody would pray to him the very first when they would start their prayers. And that's how they both bless Lord Ganesha, and this is how Lord Ganesha got his elephant head. And then Amma puts Klaka and Kiki to bed by narrating this particular story. It's a wonderful story for young children. It's a great book which you can read to your 2 to 4 year old, and if your children are independent readers, probably if they're around 4 to 5 years old and they have got on to independent reading skills, then they can even read and enjoy this story all by themselves. So I highly recommend this book to be read on the occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi and discuss Lord Ganesha and tell about Lord Ganesha's tale to your child. So this is Amma Tell Me About Ganesha. The next book which I have on my shelf is Shiva Loves to Dance. It is quite surprising that you will not find much of children's literature available around Shiva. And the ones which are available, either they'll be too complex for children to comprehend, or they'll be very violent and gruesome, and you will not really feel like picking those one up for children to read. This book I found to be quite different, wherein the role of Shiva has been focused around as a dancer and creator of everything. The main character in this story is Geeta, whose sister is performing at a Bharatanatyam recital, and she starts the recital by offering prayers and flowers to Lord Shiva. That's when Geeta questions his mother that who is Lord Shiva. So she explains him that we will talk about Lord Shiva soon once we are home and once your sister's recital is over. So at that point of a time, Geeta gets lost in his sister's recital, and then when they arrive home, that's when he remembers that he needs to ask his mother to tell him about Lord Shiva, and the mother says yes, I will, while his sister has already gone off to sleep. Here the mother focused upon how Shiva is the lord of dance and he was the first dancer of the world, and it's because of him the entire world was created. So the illustrations are quite vibrant and captivating for children. They're not violent, they're quite pleasant to look at. Though this entire book talks about creation of everything, but it does not showcase creation in a destructive manner, but in a very pleasant manner, where Lord Shiva is dancing and the nature is evolving, wherein mountains are forming, the rivers are flowing. So whenever Lord Shiva is dancing, the anklets on his feet are jingling, and slowly the universe began to move to the sound of Dhammaru. So here the mother explains Geeta that how he and his sister loves to dance when they feel happy. Same is for Shiva, that when he's in a state of happiness, he likes to dance. And when Shiva dances or he danced, that's when the continents were formed, mountains and valleys appeared, the trees and flowers sprang up, birds came to the nest, his matted locks swung open, and that's when river Ganga, hidden in his hair, flowed out. Lions, tigers, elephants, all the animals appeared along their bank. Human beings appeared, and then his Dhammaru sound is what gave the letter sounds, and that's how people started communicating with each other. They started stringing the sounds together to form their language and communicate with each other. The mother also brought in a different dimension altogether by talking about the demon Apsara who was trampled by Lord Shiva, and mother explained Geeta that this demon Apsara makes people sad, angry, jealous, and she started giving example of these feelings in a very children friendly context. For example, she spoke about here that Apsara makes naughty Sonu pull the cat's tail or throw stones at the dog. It even makes brothers and sisters fight with each other, makes people greedy so that they always want more and more. Geeta started listening and he kept wondering that what all can happen. Then mother drew the attention towards the seasons change which Shiva brings about when he continues to dance. So the coats and mufflers we wear in winter are put away. In the warm sunny day of spring, she explains, then summer heat makes the earth and everything on it thirsty and tired. Then she spoke about rain, and she said that then winter comes round again. So the world turns, his mother exclaimed. So Geeta got it very right that everything goes round and round. One thing is followed by the other, and then the entire circle, the vicious circle, keeps on repeating. So the book has wonderful illustrations. I feel it's very pleasant for children to look at. The text is very nice and big. Very simple vocabulary has been used for children to comprehend, though it's not rhyming, but the information is quite clear and brief for children to comprehend. So then at the end, Geeta asked what happens when Shiva finished dancing, Mama. Then his mother explains that there comes a time when the Dhammaru suddenly stops and the world goes to sleep until Shiva comes to wake it up again with this beautiful music and dance. So Gauri offered flowers to Lord Shiva because he's the first dancer, asked Giddu, and yes, his mother replied. That's why all dancers, they first seek the blessing of Lord Shiva in the form of Nataraj. So very beautifully, the author has brought in the information about Nataraj, and she also highlighted that people who like to dance, sing or paint, they always pray to Nataraj. And then the mother tells Gitu that may Nataraj always keeps you happy and peaceful. However, before she even kissed him goodnight, Gitu was already fast asleep. So this book is a great book as a bedtime story. That's what the author has attempted to do. This book is published by Tota Books, and there are some more titles in this series probably which you can have a look at. That is Golu the Goldfish, I Love Rain, I Love Ballet. Ganesha Sweet Tooth is another book which you can consider from this publisher to be read on the occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi or even Diwali, and you can discuss more about Lord Ganesha. Then the other titles are The Making of Dog, Magical Treasures, Good Neighbors, and A Magical Window. So this is a wonderful book which you can pick to probably talk or initiate discussion about Lord Shiva with your children. So I recommend this book for children who are 4 and above, and if your children are old enough to read by themselves, then it's a great book for them to even read independently and learn more about Lord Shiva. The next book I'm reviewing is this book by Katha Publication. The title of this book is Hathi Ka Vazan Kaise Kare. It's a Chitrkala first prize winner for the year 2011. The book is written by Geeta Dharmarajan. This title is available both in Hindi and English. Now let me take you through this book. This book has some really wonderful paper craft illustration, and it is also full of some problem solving concepts. The story is about Leelavati, that's the little girl, and the king's favorite elephant. The king wants his favorite elephant to be weighed, and he even announces that whomsoever will be able to weigh the elephant rightly will get a big prize from the king. So all the people come to try their luck out to weigh the elephant. The people who sell fruits, that's the fruit sellers, they try to weigh him, but they could not. Then the people who make ropes try to weigh the elephant, they also could not manage. Then the goldsmith also tries to weigh the elephant, but he could not manage. Even the ministers from the court tried to weigh king's favorite elephant, but they could not manage. That's when a lot of mathematicians and the scientists were called to weigh the elephant, but they also kept wondering that how do they go about weighing this elephant. And then one of the mathematicians, Bhaskaracharya, said that let me call my daughter Leelavati. Probably she could help us weigh the elephant. So then king called Leelavati, and Leelavati started thinking. She thought multiple ways that how she should go about weighing the elephant. Finally, she got an idea that how she should go about weighing the elephant. So this book is a great introduction to Leelavati and the concept of the Archimedes Principle, which she used to weigh the king's elephant. As I shared, this book is available both in Hindi and English, and it's a great book to solve the mathematical mystery behind the elephant's weight. I will not disclose how she weighed the elephant, so please get yourself the book, read and find out that how you can weigh an elephant and learn more about Archimedes Principle. It's a wonderful book for children who are 6 years and above, but as a fun story, you can even read it out to your 4-year-old. For my 7-year-old, she cannot read Hindi all by herself at the moment, so I have been reading the story to her. In case your children are fluent in reading Hindi, then you can even opt for the Hindi title for this book. In case you think it will be difficult, then you can go for the English title. I wanted to bring in some variety in terms of the languages. That's how I chose and picked the Hindi title instead of English title for this particular book. So I hope you will enjoy reading this title with your children. It's going to be a lot of fun and mystery to find out that how you can weigh an elephant. I hope you like my recommendation from today's video. In case you have any queries, suggestions, recommendations, or you would want me to review book in a particular category, please do share your point of view in the comment section down below. I would be really happy to help. Thank you so much for watching today's video.